Welcome today. My guest today, I've got a lovely guest who will be talking about the culture of silence. She's actually on the audio. She's not here live, but you will be able to hear her. If you have any question, if you're not able to answer your question, you please go on your Health Matters page on Facebook to join us and put your opinion, put your question. We'll be happy to deal with it. So, welcome my guest today, Adenike Sonny. Please, can you introduce yourself to my audience, please?
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Adenike Sonny. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. At the same time, I'm a health worker. I work with NHS professional in the mental health setting, and I'm also an advocate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, on today's program, like I said, we are discussing. So, it's not going to be just us. And we are going to give our guests a few minutes to hear their opinion, share their experience, and we will open the line and so that people can call in. You can share your experience, you can talk. We want to hear from you. So, it's going to be interactive section today. So, Adenike, when we say culture of silence, what do we mean? What does it mean to you?
Basically, culture of silence is a situation where people or group of people, colleagues, friends and families, religious people, professionals, non-professionals, just name it, any group of people, regardless of where they belong, do not discuss or acknowledge a certain issue or matter or not talk about it, even though it affects them, but they have this culture of not wanting to accept situations, talk about them. They just have to keep quiet about it. They're just quiet about matters that are going on around them. So they develop that culture of keeping quiet about matters, issues that are supposed to be discussed, that are supposed to be aired out. They see it as a taboo. Is a no to talk about. So they just keep quiet, sweep it under the carpet. So that's basically culture of silence. Keeping quiet about matters that should be aired out, that should be spoken about. So basically, it happens everywhere. We just keep quiet about them, not wanting to talk about them, even though it's a matter that should be discussed.
Thank you so much. I think that was actually well explained. But let me actually go a little bit further. So because I don't want the audience to think, what are they saying? So what is the difference between feminism and culture of silence? Because to some people, when people come out to talk, they think, oh, you're bringing your family issue out there to the public, or you're actually seeking for attention in the public. So you should actually treat it underneath your roof, in your house. So obviously they think, oh, women are actually coming out to revolt, like, you know. So what is the difference between feminism and culture of silence?
Actually, there are two different spectrums. Culture of silence is entirely different from feminism. Feminism is a situation where where basically women are coming out now to desire want to be treated fairly or more equally like their male counterparts at work, in place of worship, family backgrounds, in the home front, and all of that. A case where people want to feel women do not want to feel less treated than their male counterpart because of their gender. That is basically what I understand about feminism. It could be broader than that, but that's the literal understanding of my own feminism. Why culture of silence is basically not having to do with females only. It happens everywhere, even including men. Many men go through this culture of silence as well, where they have issues to want to talk about, but because they're males, they are supposed to be man enough not to talk about issues. They should be man enough to be strong. Even when they are supposed to speak out their pains, the culture of silence has bottled them in not to speak out. Just like the usual saying, the rich also cry. So males also cry. But because of culture of silence, they keep quiet, they keep mum about issues. So they are entirely different spectrums. They are different. You look at them from different perspectives. Feminism is where women want to be treated fairly or equally, like place of work, and the same amount of wages if they do the same amount of work with men. be treated fairly in the home front, like not to be oppressed. They want to have a say in the home front, in the family. We have some families where women are not allowed to talk, even when they have better ideas, but because of their gender, they are being shut down, not to say anything. But now feminism is bringing them out now to be more than women in the kitchen and in the home. So that's that.
Thank you so much. I think that actually explains it better. So what we are trying to say is that we're not talking about feminism here. We're talking about ability, and we want people to have the ability to talk about the problem. We want people to be bold, to actually come to say, this is the way we used to be, but it's not working. What it used to be is not working for us. So we want a better life for both male and female. And we don't want anything stopping us, actually, whatever. So we're going deeper. So can you tell me, what role has religion play on culture of silence?
Unfortunately, in the past, we were raised where religious people is not limited to African alone. I would say the world over, where women do not lead the church, lead the mosque, everything, lead the own front. But now things are changing. Women are not beginning to lead, because you get to realize that even women have better ideas of how to rule. Even the government, you see that women are at the back seat, even in the government. In the home, they are at the back seat. They don't talk when the man is there. In some cases, even amongst children, male kids are better at more advantage than female kids, which is not supposed to be so. So people are quiet about it. They don't discuss it because they think it's the norm. So that is where culture of silence comes in. It doesn't make people happy about how things are happening, but because there is that culture of silence where people should not say anything, and religious people as well. Even when women moan or complain, you hear their pastors, their fathers, their imams, their religious leaders telling them to go and manage the situation in the house, or go and pray, go fast, even when the situation is not spiritual. So they are not supposed to talk about it, because no, you shouldn't bring your dirtiness in the public. Meanwhile, science or research has proven recently that when you speak out of a problem, you are as good as healed. Half of it is out of your chest. But because we grew up having this culture of silence around us, many people have died of depression. Many people see mental homes. Many people are there because they are depressed.
Let's take this call. So we are going to go and be taking the calls. So we missed that. Can the caller please call back? So we're going to be picking up calls when they come in to hear people's view. And I'm just going to hold the speaker. We'll pick the call. Then we'll come back to the speaker. Sorry. Can you please start calling in like 5 minutes time to hear your opinion, so that we can actually hear from your own angle as well. We want to hear from you. We want to see how you see the culture of silence. How can we move away from it? What has helped you in the past? What do you recommend? So please continue.
So like I was saying earlier, to subdue people in the home front, especially females, most of the time, even males. People they were made to believe, because this is not how it's written. It's not the way God wants life to be. But this is how, oppression. I don't know. People just want other people not to talk about certain things. For instance, a child who got raped, malhandled, who doesn't have the guts to say that because of what she will be subjected to, like stigmatization, people blaming them for getting into that situation. So that culture of silence is playing a difficult role in people's lives. For instance, a girl of 10 who got malhandled comes to the mother, talk about it, and people around them saying to that child, it's your fault, look at the way you're dressed, look at the way you play with people, or sometimes even the parents beat the child not to say it out because they don't want to be shamed. Many of these people have gone to become nymphomaniac, get used to that not saying it and accepting people treating them that way, just accepting people, malhandling them, touching them inappropriately. So they end up becoming like that. Some people even grow up hating the opposite sex. Some people end up not even want to get married because of the way they. I mean, we all have examples around us. Without mentioning names, we know people that many of us even growing up in Nigeria, we've gone through these situations here and there where we can't even say it in the house or Uncle just touched me inappropriately, brother, whatever, just touched me inappropriately because the place is not immediately slap you. Why did you go close to them? So I said, shut up your mouth. You shouldn't say things like that. See, the culture of silence has deeply, ruined a lot of things in our society, which we need to come out, talk about it, and see how to deal with it or even kill it. Not let it carry on going on like that.
Thank you so much. So the number to call is actually 079 353 18757. Can I have one of the admin to put that on the Facebook, please? Join us, please share the video, invite people. We want to hear from you. And let me remind you, I'm actually from a Christian background, and the speaker is actually a pronounced and practicing Muslim. So when we say what roles as religion played on culture of silence, we are not actually being biased here, because we're not saying religion isn't good. So we need to really point that out. We are saying most people, when they're actually going through one difficulty, social difficulty, whether you've been raped, whether you've been abused, we're not saying it's not good to pray. But all we are saying is that we should stop the culture of telling people, no, you need to fast. Somebody who is actually coming to you, feeling depressed, feeling maltreated, somebody who's raped, you're saying to them, you know what, if you say it out, people will not marry you. If you say it out, you can't expose our dirty linen. All those things needs to stop, because you're not helping the victims. Truly, in our society, you might help them in terms of protect their dignity, but they're dead already inside. And this is what we are saying, that we need to move away from old ways of doing things and actually open our eyes to what is this things really working. So Nike, can we actually talk, or you actually already talked about the family orientation, you understand, in terms of how we were brought up. How do you think that is impacted on us in the terms of we are not bold enough to talk?
Well, basically our parents in the past, some parents have failed the children. They're not educating them enough to know what's going on around them. Students in the past were not taught on how to differentiate between good touch and inappropriate touch. Some parents don't even know when their children started their period. Some parents don't even know when their boy kids started. They have their own puberty stage as well. So even when they want to say it, they push them. So because of this, these kids tend to turn to neighbors who will tell them, no, okay, if you are doing this, if this is happening with you, then you are grown up enough to do this and that. As such, misleading them. And when that happens and the kids goes back to the parents, this thing happened to me. They don't let them talk. They don't let them say this. So our parents, in the past, our parents have not done well. But things have changed now, because in schools now, from primary school, especially in the West, children from year 4, year 5, they learn, they teach them sex education. Yeah, true. Changes about their body, what to expect at social age, what to expect at certain age. Some schools even go as far as giving them pads, teaching them how to use it. True. To let the children know what to expect, because obviously at home they can't even talk to their parents because some topics are taboos in the family to be discussed, which shouldn't be so. So the family orientation plays a whole of role as well. They have a lot of role to play to make sure that this thing is changing. This situation changes from where we are coming from. So everybody is enlightened on what to do. Giving people confidence to speak out whatever they're going through, either mentally, physically, or even spiritually around them. Not keep quiet, not shush them down.
Thank you so much. So, like I said, you can call in. We missed the call earlier on. If you want to call in now, we are ready to receive your call. So, what do you think is the way forward? Because obviously we've identified the problem. So we've talked about the role that religion has played on our culture. When you said you've been bullied or abused by a male husband or wife, they say to you there things happen in your house and you have to keep quiet. But truly, people that brings their issue on social media, I know they get attacked. I know there is a good advantages to it because he has helped to actually save a lot of people that has been bullied and that are victims of domestic violence, and at the same time he has broken a lot of homes. So all we are saying is that people needs to be encouraged to talk. So whether you want to talk within family, and it becomes really hard actually when the families are actually the perpetrators. So
from my personal experience, I've come to realize that because without missing words, we've all been victims of persecution, abuse, or oppression, one way or the other.
True.
It only depends on how we were able to manage it. Even growing up as a child, I personally had issues of being bullied. I didn't grow up having confidence. I didn't grow up having self-esteem. So, moving up again, even in marriage, I realized that, okay, for instance, especially in African setting, let's say third world country, African, and Asian, and all of us, we are the set of people who have to look for validation from people to remain happy in your own home or family setting, especially in marriage. If so and so person does not approve of you, you cannot have happiness in your own home. So it got to a point I realized that things cannot continue to go on. The other people who have it better, I'm not saying some other people are better than us, no. But there are some obvious situations where you know that things are not done this way in other places, especially in the West. It's not like one is saying not to respect your family or husband, family, your family, your husband. But the fact is, everyone is a person, an individual. An average individual has the right, is a fundamental human right for every person to have peace of mind, to have right to peace of mind, to have right to say what they want to say, to have right of fundamental human right of speech, of religion, of choice, of life, the way they want to live. But this right should not be taken away from them because they are married. So here's the reason when people fall into that spectrum where they are bullied or persecuted in their own home, if they don't trust their family because they are the perpetrators, then they should take help, go for therapy, speak out, because research has found that when you speak out of your problem, speak your problem out, you are relieved for having that problem solved. Because you get to realize that you are not alone in that situation. You will have heard of someone's problem either lesser than yours or higher than yours. You find out that you are in the middle of the spectrum. You are not the first person to have that problem. Neither are you going to be the last person to have that problem. Because of which 50% you feel relieved. Speak to a professional. Talk to people. Apart from that, get a job. Women these days should be empowered. Because most of the time people they endure all of these issues because they don't have anywhere to come to. Just so the man throws them out of the house.
So we're talking about financial stability because people they can't live on their own. They need to depend on a man or a woman. So they are forced to stay and take the abuse.
So women should be economically empowered such that we're not hoping for the worst, but just so it happens because nobody is guaranteed. Nobody has got even forget about having marital issues. Just so your spouse dies or anything happens, or business crumble or anything, and then you end up being at the mercy of people who are already bullying you, and you know. So just be empowered. Have your own side hustle. Have your own job, because at the end of the day, women these days sometimes they even do it more. We've seen millionaires, billionaires who are females. So women, first of all, do not go into marriage without having a job. Do not go into a marriage without having savings on the side. Do not use up. Do not live above your means. Do not put your children into schools where you cannot afford just so you lose your job. Do not have a situation where you live. You are one salary away from poverty. When you are one salary away from poverty, it means that if you lose this job this month, next month you become broke. So that way, set your expenses. Let not your expenditures go beyond your income in case of anything. So that, I mean, literally, men these days, they don't even want liability of women. If you're a woman and you're a liability, they know that without them you cannot live, you cannot move on. They treat you anyhow. So you yourself as a woman, have your own job, have your own dignity, have your own confidence that just when anything happens, you can carry on from there. But that being said, it's not enough reason to now say because I am worth this much, I shouldn't respect my husband, I shouldn't give happiness to my home and stuff like that. But just so you find yourself in a situation whereby you're being persecuted or you're going through domestic violence, okay, you don't have to endure these things because you've only got one life to live. If you die today, someone else takes over tomorrow from where you stop.
Okay. Can the caller please call back? I don't know why. Can the caller please call back? So as soon as we are receiving calls, so I'm just going to be pausing you. We pick up the call. So I don't know why the call. I think is actually, I don't know. We've got good network. We've got, so can you please call her back? So yeah, that's the caller. So I'm going to pick the call now. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello, I'm trying to turn down. Okay, yeah. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome on today's program. We want to hear from you. What do you think, culture of silence?
I'm just thinking culture. Basically, like I agree with what the today's guest is talking about. But thinking of our culture, and although we might be in a different part of the world, but the people we move with, the people we roll with, they are still part of our culture.
Okay.
We cannot speak up when we know we will be judged, when we know the situation will be worse. So that's with me personally. I think it's better not to speak up sometimes because obviously when you speak up to the wrong people, you will be judged and it will make situation worse. Let's take for example Honey did there in Two-Face recently. She came out to rant, she just wanted to say something, but she's been judged. The situation wasn't well, like I reflected on the situation and I think she's now in a worse place, in a worse situation for speaking up. So sometimes in our culture, in our community, it's not, maybe it's more to create more awareness of accepting people, understanding people, rather than encouraging us to speak up when things are not going our way. Especially in a society where a woman's love, a woman's strength is measured by the amount of suffering, how she suffered in life. If a woman did not suffer, let's take for example as a mom, if you've not suffered to feed your children, you are not yet a super mom. If you've not suffered with your husband, you are not a good wife. So a woman's strength is measured up by how we suffered in our community. So I'm not sure if we're there yet to start speaking up.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kola. We really appreciate. Did you actually hear that? So the caller said, in our society now, a woman's strength is measured by how much we endure suffering. Do we really need to suffer? Let's go back to the origin. God created man and woman and made the man the head and the woman as helper. And God gave strict instruction to each individual. Forget about religion. Let's not bring religion into it because I'm both Muslim, Christian, I'm both. So don't bring. Let's not be biased here. So the instruction was clear: woman, be submissive. Man, love the woman as the Christ will die. Can die for the church. So, but these days, we are only talking about submissive. If you love me, you should be able to tolerate me. If you love me, you should be able, I shouldn't be even enduring in marriage. I should be enjoying. When we have difficulty, if I am the cause of the difficulty, You should be able to tolerate me. If you are the cause of the difficulty, there shouldn't even be any form of abuse in the first place. It was clear. Somebody you love, you cannot raise your hand to it. My understanding. Somebody you love, you will be able to add. So now these days, I'm not going to mention names, but we all know it's so obvious. If a woman cheats, it is gone in the marriage. Even if you're not gone, trust me, it's better you even go, because they will make your life miserable. But if a man cheats, now the man will apologize for those people that have the fear of God. And even if you're still paying, it will come to a state that they'll be like, what is it now? What else does she want? After all, the man has apologized. Make the man die. Do you want the man to kill themselves?
Can I cut you from there? Sorry if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
Well, we carry on like that, like saying, oh, the man can do whatever they want. Okay, yes. We all know that women can be very, very mean when it comes to forgiving. If you force a woman to forgive you and say like that without the man, without closure, let me just put it that way, knowing and believing that this is not going to happen again, because we are from a background where we shouldn't speak up. If we speak up, the table is going to turn around against us. Okay, have you not noticed how many men suffer in their later life from the hands of the women they've bullied initially in the beginning of their life, when they were at their prime, when they have the energy, the power to torment these women? And the women, of course, bore the pain, bore the agony, bore the misery, raise their kids. And of course, we all know that tables do turn around. Women end up becoming more stronger in later life because they have their children to look after them. And these men are now at the mercy of these women. Now, the table has now turned around and the woman is now dishing out the same courtesy to the men back in later life. So why don't we now speak out of the problem, sort it out, so we're even and the case is closed. So everyone has closure. We know we are back to status quo. Rather than keeping the punishment of the men till later life. Because it does happen. We cannot shy from the fact that it happens. So wouldn't we rather talk about it, speak about it, and get it sorted out, rather than
and move on?
We know that nobody is wired to bear pain to the end of their life.
No.
Without expecting justification in the long run. Okay, you are making me bear this pain. So what happens to me in the next 20 years? Do I die? Do I go to the grave with this pain without guaranteeing me a place in paradise? Because no one is sure of that. Most women wait until later life and say, okay, I'll bear the pain when you're younger and you have the energy. Now is my turn to dish out your nemesis to you. So I think I will always be in favor of speaking up and getting the things sorted out. Unless you can't.
I'm going to call to you. Let's pick this caller. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome on today's program, Your Health Matters, Culture of Silence.
Hello, good evening. It's good to have you back. And then, thank you. This topic is a really good topic, culture of silence. And it made me really think, like, this is really quite in-depth, because if you could go into it, like the caller, the guest is saying as well, because you have family orientation, you have the stigma, you have the financial instability as well. So culture of silence. This is, and I think it's mainly common, like, okay, speaking about the Black African and the Asian society as well, because not only the Nigerians suffer, because you do have the Asian as well. The Asian women suffer because they believe that, oh, you shouldn't express how you feel. You know, the man, you must have provoked him, and that's why he reacted that way. Or you don't want, and then what he's done for you when you were younger, and all this, and you're suffering in silence, and you will now realize that women, with all this battering, when during the young age, being battered and beaten, and when they get older, this is where you have different illness, especially the African society and the Asian community. You have the women suffer more, you have dementia, you have different health issues. And it does happen to, but I just want to encourage, like what the guest said, like we should talk. And we should also educate our children, like we can't leave it. Our parents have tried because they used to what the society has instilled in them, so that's what followed. But now, thank God for 2021 generation now, and it's giving us the power to express ourselves, to talk, because it's going to be quite difficult for people. Not everybody likes change. We don't all like changes.
True.
But I think change cannot all happen instantly. It's instantaneous. You can't assume change to just happen and everybody to adapt to change. But if we introduce change and encourage and educate all members, both men, women, children from young age, that okay, this is what you've been used to, this is what we've been brought up on. We can only adapt the good ones. And then, like you were saying, referring about the Bible, oh yeah, you have to respect your husband. Yeah, respect, you should be reciprocated. You should respect each other. You should love each other, because that's what I'm a Christian, and the Bible bases everything on love. Love is God. God is love. If you love someone, would you want someone to beat you? Would you want someone to be nasty to you? Would you want someone to cheat you and then take, is what you would accept that you should be able to give out. And this culture of silence, it's like, I would just encourage, like the earlier caller said, that we're not ready yet. I feel like we do think we're not ready, but I think we are ready, because talking about it is making us identify and thinking, and reflecting that we might have endured things, but that doesn't make it right. Men do get abused as well. You have men, because once they're abused, they don't talk about it, because you have people intimidate, bully them, make fun of them. Oh, you're gay and all that. Oh, yeah. We should learn to talk. We should learn to listen to people. And even if we don't agree or totally accept the abuse, we should be open-minded to see. And then I don't want to, there are people saying, oh, feminism, oh, you're losing God. Well, the feminism is not part of, you're not obeying God. Don't take it, we women shouldn't take it to the extreme. We should respect. You should just show love. Love. What you can't take, don't dish it out. Simple as that. I think I'm sorry if I keep going.
No, I think the previous, that's fine actually, because that's the essence of the program. We want people to have a platform to be able to express themselves and say, no, this is the way things are going. We want to move away from the old ways of doing things. We want to embrace new culture. We want a fair and not equal, because to be fair, and actually, if you treat a woman right, as a man, the woman will respect and be submissive. And if a woman, if you treat a man right as well, the man will love you. So sometimes, you begin to wonder, where is this problem coming from? I think the previous caller said we are not ready because the society will judge us.
Yeah, the society.
Let me quickly give you a scenario. I'm not going to mention him on my program. So there was a scenario of a well-known individual actually engaged to a female, and obviously they were working towards issue of thinking, they're going to be married, and at the end of the day the guy pulled the wheel out. And what did the society do? What did they do? They were nailing the lady. Oh, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have given back to him. You shouldn't have. And I was worrying, like, is it our fault? Do you think any woman, a man will walk up to a man and say, you know what, though some people do, and it's okay, I'm talking about people who were not informed. You actually went to a woman, you said to a woman, I love you, I'm going to be with you, I'm going to marry you. Can we start something? You understand? You have a clear understanding of what you wanted, and the woman showed you love. These days, sometimes when things doesn't go right, people will blame the woman. Oh, you showed too much love. Oh, you were making it look like he was looking after you. Then I begin to wonder, why do we always fault one another, whether the man or the woman? Why do we judge?
I do get that, because it's part of our culture. And then I'm Yoruba. You have a saying that says "Omotoda nitiba bed," Meaning a good child that belongs to the father, but the problematic child, or the one with the challenge, be, oh, you must have taken that from his mom. Oh, definitely, yeah. Oh, that's what his mom is. We always reference to the mother, but mainly in some homes, it is the women that are looking after, they're the nurturing, they're the ones looking, and then the father end up taking. I'm not saying most fathers don't take responsibility.
Of course.
I'm just giving an example that we end up, and then I realized something, especially with our culture. We are so judgmental. We are.
I think somebody just put on the Facebook, we are our own worst enemy. I think we are. And we need to stop it. Because you're making people die. People are dying in silence. We need to stop it. Everybody is not perfect. This is why I said to you, just hold on. Everybody is not perfect. When you see people make mistake, if you can't help them, leave them. Don't be a party to those people that get joy from other people's downfall. Don't be a party to them. People are prone to make we are not perfect. I can actually, I have my own flaws. You have your own. So let me give you an instance. Somebody actually called me one day to say, oh, I actually watched your video and I realized you were saying this instead of this. I said, okay, that's the only thing you picked out from the whole 1 hour show that I did. The mistake. You didn't say any other thing. I said, thank you. And she was like, no. I said, no. I was just, because I would have expected you to say the good part, what you actually find interested, and to say to me to have room for improvement, this is what you need to do better. But you calling me up to actually point out a mistake, seriously? So, and this is what we do on our data. And I think before I forget this point, nobody's going to fight your battle. I'm putting it out to you. You have a right to actually stand up and say, I am not happy in this situation. This is not working for me. I'm not saying go to Facebook. And sometimes people are frustrated. They don't know what to do. They've tried everybody. They've spoken to everybody. It's not working. And rather than committing suicide, the good thing about Facebook is that they will cry for help. See them as crying for help. See them rather than you adding more to the problem. Look at the recent incident of a lady coming out to say, and people are saying, yeah, you know he's done this. You should have accepted it. Oh, stop. You shut up. And the people, they turn themselves to the judge. It is not fair.
No.
It is not fair. We need to stop that culture of judging one another.
I'm glad for this program because it's a platform to express it, to express ourselves and just to bring light to things that people are suffering in silence. And this is a good platform to let everybody know that no matter. The good thing is it's not discriminatory against the culture, religion, race, or gender. A male, because it's quite balanced, because male do suffer, female
true. So don't think we're actually saying is the woman that's actually in this boat. The male, in fact, the men are the worst because they are not bold to come out to say it.
Yeah.
Some good men are really victims as well.
Yeah, because especially my culture, they believe that a man, if you told a Latin bomb, a man, you've made men at the forefront. They, you
like NHS worker, those frontliners.
Yeah, a man can't shed tears. You have to man up. Don't yell. So, thank you so much for the platform.
Thank you so much, Kola. So, we're going to give room for other people to come and hear their opinions. So, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. So, hello. So,
yes, here.
Thank you so much. I've got somebody put on the platform on the Facebook to say the society doesn't really encourage people to talk. Morade or Mofade, Dada. Those who spoke up were abused. It is a shame. It is a shame they end up being blamed. We've got another caller, so we're going to pick up this call. 1 minute. Hello, you're welcome on today's program.
Hello, Labake. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for joining us on today's program.
Okay. Thank you very much for the program. I think it's a very important program.
Is that Dr. Kasim?
Well, I don't know. It might be.
Okay, so let's hear from the psychiatric point of view. What do you think?
No, I'm just going to talk like as a layman,
Okay.
okay? Because this is something that happens day in, day out, and
Okay.
it affects a lot of people. Culture of silence, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I mean, the first thing is, I like something that's been discussed about this issue is not just restricted to women, it affects men as well.
True.
We have men that has been bullied, battered, and, traumatized,
Mm-hmm.
by women as well. So we need to recognize that.
True.
So, but what we're saying is culture of silence. The first thing is why culture of silence? Why are people not talking? Why are people not coming out to speak and
Mm.
about their experience and all of that?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why that could be.
Mm-hmm.
It could be by the fact that, obviously they feel that they will be judged by people.
Mm.
Sometimes it's as a result of the fact that they believe that, of course, they've been oppressed. It's not You're not supposed to talk out, and
Mm.
that's the culture,
Mm-hmm.
especially in our African context.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so there's a lot of that going on. But with regards to, because there's several aspects, this is actually a quite complicated issue. It's
Okay.
not as easy as we're looking at it. It cut across religion, it cut across culture and all sorts of things. And in Africa, I can see that people are talking about culture of silence.
Hmm.
In this country, this is really something that is acceptable.
Hmm.
But back home in Africa, especially in Nigeria,
Hmm.
it's like you dare not talk. In a country where even your president
Hmm.
was referring to his own wife as the other room,
Mm.
and
She belongs to the other room.
she belongs to the other room. So you can imagine, it's even better in the south of Nigeria, but in the northern part of Nigeria, women don't have voice. They are
Hmm.
not meant to talk. They are
Hmm.
just meant to be there and look after the home and the children. The wife goes out. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of when we're talking about feminism, now feminism have been well defined,
Mm-hmm.
and basically what it means is that to give the same opportunity to both girls and boys,
Mm-hmm.
so that they have the same education, they are able to get the same kind of job, same salary,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. But our people, our own people, women in particular, they are confused with that,
Hmm.
especially in this country.
Hmm.
And to them, what it means is I'm equal to men.
Hmm.
You see, and then they start to prove points. They start to misbehave. They start to do things they don't normally do. No respect for their husband. And
Hmm.
the worst thing you can do for a man is to attack his ego as a
Hmm.
man. You're attacking his ego by disrespecting him, by behaving in a way that you were not behaving before, by
Hmm.
being difficult, and they struggle with that. And this
Hmm.
is what leads to in some cases can lead to some sort of abuse and other. It's not to say that it is acceptable for anyone to abuse anybody. You see,
True.
but there's a lot of culture clashes in Nigeria. People seem to understand a lot of these things, and they are basically they have find their own way of managing things, even though they're still silent in some cases. Maybe they're able to come out and say, but for Nigeria in particular and Africa in general, I think it's more about being judged,
Hmm.
by others.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know whether you've seen this. There's something going on in social media about it's more about a joke where they're saying somebody was raped, went to the police station, and they're asking question. You said it's your boyfriend. He raped you. Ah. And they said, how can your boyfriend rape you? And then they said, where did this happen? In his house? You went to his house?
Hmm.
How did it happen? Were you wearing a dress? You shower? You changed into his top?
Hmm.
And he raped you? You know? So culturally speaking, so that is something that is really, really terrible in our Africa context and also in Nigeria in particular. But overall, what I want to say, for anything to change, things are changing in Western countries. People are, yes, they are encouraging people to talk because they have that support as well to support them
Hmm.
psychologically. Because for some people, it's not even easy to
Hmm.
talk
Hmm.
because it opens a can of worms. It
Mm-hmm.
becomes more emotional. Sometimes when they visit that again, they might start to feel suicidal and all those things because of the trauma.
Hmm.
But they have the support system in place in this country to support them, like counseling, therapy, they do it in a safe environment, safe manner, in
Mm-hmm.
which they have a therapist to disclose this, to talk to it, allow them to express their feelings in a confined setting, in a secure setting. But that doesn't happen in Nigeria. Nigeria, you open this kind of worm, you're just left your own, device, and. So, but overall, I think what we need to do, we need to do a massive campaign in Africa,
Mm.
and it's very difficult for you to do that without having the politicians on your side. And a
Mm.
lot of them, are already, corporate.
Hmm.
They practice this kind of thing in their own home. Their own wife are not allowed to talk. They
Mm.
oppress them. This has been going on. So if we're going to change anything in Africa, especially in Nigeria,
Mm.
so we need a massive campaign. The campaign will go right into schools, primary schools. You need
Hmm.
to start teaching children
Hmm.
as they are going into school that you don't touch anybody, you don't hit anybody, you respect women, you respect everybody. These are things that needs to be taught from school, because
Mm.
the people that are already grown up now, it's really deeply ingrained into them. Some of them, you can't even talk about women where they are.
Hmm.
It's like women are so inferior. You
Hmm.
shouldn't be talking about them. They are just there to be used. So this is
Hmm.
the kind of attitude a lot of our men have, in Nigeria. And it's partly because, maybe financially they are the one that is better off. They have that financial power. So they use that to control women and say
Hmm.
that, and do all of it. So, for me, the message is, we need to do a massive campaign to change people's opinion and views about this. But it's not something that can change overnight.
True.
It's going to take years, but
Mm-hmm.
we have to be consistent with it, and we have to continue to involve as many people as possible into it. That's just my contribution.
Thank you. Before you go, Doc, somebody's asking on the platform on the Facebook to say, "Sir, please explain what disrespect is, so we can learn as wives."
No, I mean disrespect in the sense that it depends. It varies really. It depends on in what context you're looking at it. Somebody, let me give you an example
Okay.
of a woman who got married in Nigeria
Okay.
and lived peacefully with her husband for 10 years.
Okay.
No problem. She's always respected her husband. But they moved to England,
Mm-hmm.
and after a few years, she started to um, things that she would not do before. She started to do, like, for example, uh, if this was a woman that would, support her husband at home in Nigeria, but now the man now is actually coming home. Um, you know, the usual greetings that she will give her husband, the usual, "Oh, what are you going to eat?" and kind of the loving kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
that they would do together. Things started to change.
Hmm.
Then she started to talk to her, to disrespect her in the sense that even if she said, "I can't cook for you,"
Hmm.
somebody, it depends on the way you say
You
it.
say it.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, darling, I've been quite busy myself. I've been to work.
True.
I can't. I'm tired."
Mm-hmm.
But when you now come and say, "Oh, I must really do work myself. Why can't you go to the kitchen and cook yourself?"
Hmm.
This kind of thing. The
Hmm.
man, because if you look at it, this is a serious thing.
Mm-hmm.
At least two cases in America where the men have brought women from Nigeria, right?
Mm-hmm.
These women, they sponsored them, they
Mm-hmm.
paid for their school fees,
Mm-hmm.
they went into nursing, they became nurses,
Mm-hmm.
and then soon they became nurses, they stopped doing all the things they do in their house. They are
Hmm.
disrespecting, and in at least one cases I heard that it led to the death of the woman
Wow.
because the man was so angry. Although I'm not condoning it, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do,
Hmm.
but some people, they have anger issues, anger problems. They
Mm-hmm.
can't manage these things when it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So for women as well, if they're going to do it, they have to do it tactfully and
Mm-hmm.
also have to be careful as well.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you will know the kind of person you are getting married to, except if you
True.
don't know that person. If
Mm-hmm.
it's a violent person, you will know from the start.
From the beginning.
So, anyway, so that's just my.
Thank
So
you so much.
when I'm talking about disrespect, I'm talking about people just changing because of their
Mm.
behavior. When they were in Nigeria, it was different. When they are now in this country, because they are in a Western country, a lot of people have been called police on their husband for
Mm.
nothing and all this kind of thing. It creates all sorts of unnecessary friction and
Mm.
problems.
Thank you. It's actually good to actually hear from a man's perspective in terms of the culture of silence. And I think what I was expecting Dr. Kasim to actually mention, he was able to kind of say the good and the other side of the issue. To say sometimes some women, which I know, I've seen cases, I've had cases, they will come truly and they will change. However, some women actually were being pressurized to work more. So obviously, it affects them. It affects the role they need to play. And like I said, it still boils down on the fact that if you love one another, you can still talk about it. You can still resolve issue. And like Dr. Kasim rightly said, this is not encouraging domestic violence, or there shouldn't be any form, and not to talk of somebody killing one another on top of waiting. So I think I really appreciate the way you dealt with the matter, considering the fact that you acknowledge the fact that a woman should be given space to talk. A woman shouldn't be limited to this is your position, this is where you belong. They should be allowed. However, having said that, women still, we need to respect and love our husband as well. But the culture of silence, can you imagine somebody was being raped? The fact that somebody went to their boys, even as a man and a husband, there are times you don't want to get touched. There are times you just want to be left alone. You have the right to say, you know what, I am not in the mood. And any force put at that time is rape. Whether married though. Hello?
Sorry, I'm still here. Just talking into what you say.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. That's the Western way of looking at things. To be
Okay.
honest with ourselves.
Okay.
In Africa, in Nigeria, it is different.
But is it right? Let's talk about it. Is it right?
It is wrong.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
But you can imagine an Igbo man, for example, that pays so much money for his bride, and the woman is saying, I want to sleep with her, and she's saying no. You see where some of these problems arise, where they come from. Because the man paid so much. For people in the eastern part of Nigeria, once they are married, it's like they hold the woman.
Like a lord to slave.
Yes, they hold the woman. So the woman must conform to whatever they say. They are not go against them. That's the cultural thing, with the people from the eastern part of Nigeria. Yes. I mean, but like I said, we shouldn't condone it. It should not be condoned. We need to try and change it, and the change process will start from now. When we start to talk and campaign and talk about it, maybe the political class in Nigeria would buy into it, key into it, and then they will introduce it to the entire country through the schools, education, and all of those things. But without that, yes, we'll be here talking about it. The people who are really experiencing it are somewhere else. Nigeria, for example. A lot of people are in this kind of situation that they can't get out of it. And they don't know what to do. In Nigeria, it's very rampant. And then talking about love, whether you love or not, that's an important aspect of it as well.
It is.
A lot of people get into marriages, but they don't really know what they are getting into. They don't know this person. They don't really know that person. And in some cases, there's always there's an agenda behind it. Somebody maybe who's coming, who's a man or a woman who is in this country going to bring somebody from Nigeria. That person might just, do whatever he needs to do to get his papers. But he doesn't really love the woman. Or the man doesn't love the woman, or the woman doesn't love the man. But he has his own agenda all along. I've experienced a situation where a woman actually brought a man to this country from Nigeria. The man messed her up in the sense that, even financially, he went to take loan on this lady's behalf, about £50,000.
Wow.
And, he went to do something in his place in Nigeria, and he just left the woman and went.
Wow. Just like that.
The woman has had to now to pay all of those back.
The loan.
The loan. And you see, a lot of it, and apart from that, the woman paid for his, he did master's degree when he came to this country. The woman paid for all of that. Then he went to take loan on the woman's
name,
account. Yeah, and the woman is now having to pay loan back.
Okay.
So So this kind of thing is
Thank you so much, Dr. Kasim, for today.
It's a wonderful program.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people will learn from it.
I'm very sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye, Dr. Kasim. So we're wrapping up, actually. Thank you so much to all our guests for today. And to our guest, Adenike. Thank you so much for joining in, because trust me, I love the way Dr. Kasim was able to actually wrap it up to say, you know what, he acknowledged the fact that the problem is actually could be from both sides. And look at it from what I said earlier on. It's all about the issue of, if you love a man or a woman, yeah, you will not even treat them in such a manner. You understand? So thank you so much on today's program, Nike. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So we are rounding up, so I'm going to let the guests actually leave now. Thank you so much. Bye. So on today's program, that's going to be all. Before we wrap up, I'm going to say the point that was actually mentioned, as we should stop judging. And a woman's strength doesn't have to be measured by the amount of suffering they persevere in a marriage. God did not build marriage for suffering or endurance. It was meant to be enjoyed. You understand? And if you consider signs that this man or this woman has nothing, you understand? Because one of my big uncle said to me, in marriage, you cannot know your husband or your wife fully. You learn to know them. That marriage is the ability to cope with the unknown man and woman character. The unknown character that you're going to see in marriage, the ability to cope. So it's all about love. So you understand, if you know you're actually is whatever you're going through is affecting your mental state, walk away. You can separate for a while, and if you think it's actually not still working, there's no harm. The worst part, let me tell you, being a single mother, I keep telling to people, is better than being underneath the feet. So till I see you next month with another interesting topic, remember, I can't fight your battle. You cannot fight my battle. I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through. Don't judge me, and I'm not going to judge you. Let's support one another to make a better society. I love you all. Your health matters. Bye.